Hello folks, this is Steve A. for you. You know, the war about ad blockers has gotten serious to the point that I have to just turn them off. So I'm not promoting anything. So these up top are the featured articles on bleepingcomputer.com. I'm not promoting anything, I'm not recommending anything. But down here they're talking about get your free 5G phone. So today looks like a very busy day, the 26th of March, 2025, for all kinds of articles, including ads on Bleeping Computer. A lot of breaches. And I saw one. Microsoft fixes printing issues caused by January Windows updates. Oh, don't they break printers every month? Look back. These are all today. Here it is. I'm using the Google Chrome browser. Google fixes Chrome 0 day. That means somebody reported to them something they didn't know about. Exploited an espionage campaign. I have no idea what this stuff is at the bottom, but since I turned the ad blockers off, it's a mess. Google has fixed a high severity Chrome 0 day vulnerability exploited to escape the browser's sandbox. What do you think a sandbox does? What is browser sandboxing? GitHub, June 15th. Browser sandboxing is a security mechanism that isolates the web browser processes, the code that's running, and tabs, things that might be going on in the tabs, from the rest of the operating system to prevent malicious code from exploiting vulnerabilities in the browser and underlying system. Oh, you mean stuff gets in through your browser because you go on a website, you don't even have to click and they download shit into your computer and destroy you or steal everything? Create a separate process for the web browser. Limit access to system resources. Run web content in a separate... Too technical. To escape the web browser's sandbox, employ malware in an espionage attacks targeting Russian media outlets and educational organizations. So I thought the Russians were the big ones doing this stuff. You mean people attack them? Or maybe the Ukrainians do. Who knows? Google, quote, Google is aware of reports that an exploit of the listed exists in the wild, the company said in a security advisory published Tuesday. Do they mean Google? Yeah, Google. Stable channel update for desktop. Tuesday, March 25th, 2025. You're a developer and you want to see the very beginning of any code changes they're making. You can participate where they keep telling you, oh, today we made more changes, download it, see what you think about it. Then there's the canary. We're almost ready. This is going to be the next update. Would you like to be a beta tester? We're going to release it in the next couple of days. This is the finished code. We just need a few more checkers. And then there's the stable. Stable is for everybody. It's good. So 134.06998, 177, and going to 178 for Windows, not Linux. Windows will roll out over the coming weeks, days. You can tell this is fill in the blanks. A full list of changes in this build is in the log. I'm just showing you how complicated your browser is. There it is. There's the full list. Oh, there it is. Commit, author, Chrome release bot, Chrome official brancher, chops service accounts. Oh, that's the one that just does. We're incrementing one more step. That's the robot that publishes it. Chrome version, David Bienvenu of chromium.org. So he works in the open source organization. Chromium, Lucy, CQ, Chromium Scope. Check if get bubble frame view is null before calling size to content. I have no idea what they're talking about. Roll Chrome, Android, ARM64, profile, auto roll. I have no idea what this is. Let me just scroll down. Too many to read. Mostly it looks like bullshit to me. You know, I used to work for that internationally known, internationally operating IT company. I've been through software updates and mistakes in software updates. Security fixes and rewards. Note, access to details and links may be kept restricted until a majority of users are updated with a fix. So they keep track of how many people have actually updated their browser to this version. So there's certain stuff that they're not actually going to tell you what they fixed until they think 90% of the Chrome browser users, at least on Windows, have actually somehow, maybe even by mistake, accidentally updated. And then they'll tell the world about what they fixed. Why would they do that? Because the ones that want to exploit it are watching, salivating. Oh, I can figure that out, even though they're only talking about it indirectly. And then they go blast you. This update includes one security fix. So there are a bunch of fixes, but we're interested in the security fix because that's what Bleeping Computer talks about. I've never looked at this before. Below we highlight fixes that were contributed by external researchers. So this is not one they figured out themselves, meaning Chromium, Google. Incorrect handle provided in unspecified circumstances in Mojo on Windows, reported by Boris Larin and Igor Kuznetsov, sound Russian, Ukrainian, of Kaspersky, and they got it reported on the 20th of this month, and it's the 25th in this note. So they hopped on it right away, and in case you don't know, Kaspersky Cybersecurity Security Solutions for Home and Business. Keep your internet use safe. I'm not promoting anything. They're in Moscow. Recently, the United States government forbid anyone working in the government, using any government computer, having anything to do with government computer software from using this. Because it's in Moscow. Kaspersky's been around since the beginning, more or less. Do they have a good reputation? Yes. Do they claim that they're free of and clear of any of the bad stuff that the Russian government does? Yes. Should we believe them? I have no idea. So this was reported by Kaspersky, and they found somebody poisoning certain kinds of Russian websites. What's Mojo on Windows? I don't know. Get started with Mojo Modular Max. Modular AI. I'm going to assume it's safe. Docs, modular.com, Mojo. I have no idea. Get ready to learn Mojo. This tutorial is designed to give you a tour of several features of Mojo by building a complete program that does more than simply printing Hello World. In fact, we build a version of Conway's Game of Life, which is a simple simulation to explore self-replicating systems. If you haven't heard of it before, don't worry. Now they're telling a brand new update's available, maybe with a fix in it. Don't worry, it'll make sense to you when you see it in action. So let's get started. Learn Mojo Programming Basics. And what does it do? So it's a programming language of some kind. What do you use it for? For what purpose? Mojo aims to combine the usability of high-level programming language, like Python, with the performance of system programming like C++. As of February 2025, it's a compiler in closed source with this is Wikipedia. So it's another programming language. It's like Python. What does it do? It builds on the multi-level intermediate representation compiler software framework instead of directly at the low level. So it's an AI thing, LLVM, like Swift and Clang. Programming language created by Modular, Chris Latner, I've heard that name. Original architect of Swift, I've heard of that. And as somebody who's from Google, it's to bridge the gap between Python's ease of use and the fast performance required in cutting-edge AI applications. Okay, it's big AI shit. Now, why am I doing this? How often do you update your browser? Google is aware of reports that an exploit of this type exists in the wild. It's tracked. This vulnerability was discovered by, and they named the two guys at Kaspersky. What it actually does, I have no idea, but it's in a specific AI programming language. So it might get high use in specialized kinds of, oh, you mean the Russians are using AI? Google fixed the 0-day for users in the stable desktop channel, with patch versions rolling out worldwide to Windows users, although the company says security update will roll out over days and weeks. It was immediately available when, you notice that wording is very general. Users who prefer not to update Chrome manually can let the browser automatically check for new updates and install them after the next launch. So you could put your browser in every time you start it, it checks to see if there's an update, and if there is, it does the update. You know, Windows is like that too. You can do it once a month on Patch Tuesday, or there's a setting where it'll automatically check every time you start Windows, and if there's any kind of fix, it automatically does it. Welcome to the early Canary users of their Windows bugs like printing problems. The last time we update this version of Chrome on this computer, today is Wednesday, was last Friday. Because every Friday, I do a complete security check routine on all of my computers and the major software. I do it every Friday, no matter what. Is once a week like that enough? Do you do it? Do you? I do it. And how long have I been doing it that way? 20 years? Why would I do that? Oh, you mean it's only been dangerous lately? No. And I'm careful where I go. So let's do it. Over here, there's 3 dots. We go down to Help, About Google Chrome, and it says right there, Updating Chrome. And that's the build that they're talking about, 166, from 1565 to 166. Does it sound like something that really would affect you? I'm going to give you a sly answer. The really bad guys, especially with the AI now, download the mojo and try to figure out what it was that this fixes. And all the code's available. Except they won't show you this actual code fix until a majority of users of Chrome, Google Chrome, have actually done the update. Maybe. See how vague they are? Now, I have to relaunch, and just so you can't see my desktop, I'm starting Firefox. Now I'll relaunch. And Chrome is up to date. Anytime I see, that's like I look at Bleeping Computer, anytime I see a hint, and usually 2 or 3 times during the week, for my browsers, Chromium, Chrome that I use every day, 90% of the time, I check to see if there's an update. Because the bad guys, especially with all the AI help now, are really jumping on it fast. So let's check, while we're at it, Firefox, which has no relationship. Help, About Firefox, Restart to update Firefox. I updated it on Friday. There was a fix on Thursday, actually. Okay, let's try the Brave browser. That's based on Chromium. Help. Usually it does it by itself. Brave is up to date. And it's up to 178, which is the one we just updated to. It's the same as the Chromium .178. Yep, my Brave browser automatically does it. We got one more browser. Microsoft Edge. They're updating right now. So 2 of the 3 Chromium-based browsers that I just looked at updated today, the 25th. Let's see if that's what they're fixing. It always takes so long. Come on. (134.0). This is 0.85. Now I have to restart it. Microsoft Edge is up to date. But look at this. 1340.3124. 6998. I have no idea. Are they even close? I can't figure out what Microsoft is doing with their version of Chromium. You can be an Edge insider, get them as they're done, join the insider community, preview channel. Now here's what I'm doing. Does this show me what they just fixed? Let me find out. I've never done this before. Microsoft Update Catalog 1 day ago. (326). Microsoft Edge updates AMD 64. It's not telling me anything. It's not telling me anything. Why did they send me here? See, I'm wondering, oh, sorry about the error. Look at that. I just clicked on a link. Oops, sorry about the error. Failed to read the session storage property from Windows. Access is denied for this document. Well, that gives me confidence. This is right from Microsoft. They're really on the ball. All I did was click on this for the Microsoft Edge developer. Microsoft Edge Chromium updated March 21st. I think that's what they're behind. They're advertising a surfing game. There's bullshit here. Boy, that gives me... Oh, you mean... Oh, did you know what? I don't use the Edge browser for anything. The only time the Edge browser opens is two circumstances. Every Friday when I do update all of the browsers for certain, and there are certain things in Windows 10 and 11 that are, when you click on Help about Microsoft, whoop, that's not what I want. Like, oh, Windows Server. No, wait a minute. When you click on something that has to do with a help page from Microsoft about some feature of Windows, they don't use your standard browser. They go like this to you, and they use the Edge browsers to force it down your throat. Because nobody what? I won't say it. Isn't that all interesting? Don't you understand every bit of it? Here's my advice. Do what I do. Pick a day of the week, a particular time of the day, when you go through all of your one or more computers. I have like 9 or 10 computers. And do the full security scans of everything every week, at least that often. And during the week, because you use your browser so intensively, and it's one of the main avenues of attack, check a few other times on help, about, and make sure it's updated. Steve AB4 showing you how I do it. Yeah, it's a pain. The first time I ever had somebody break into a computer I was actively on and using, somebody remotely getting in, I was working at NC State, North Carolina State University, in the agronomy department. I was working on a machine that was running Unix, and I detected someone else from another part of the United States was also using the machine without permission. And that was before 1990. So if you think I'm crazy to be buggy about all this stuff, my direct experience with an invader goes back that far. Steve AB4 just an idiot running his mouth, saying see you in 73.